Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right with a diet? I mean, you're cutting the calories, you're hitting the gym, only to end up frustrated and somehow right back where you started? Well, you're not alone. What if I told you the problem was never your willpower? What if the problem was the entire rulebook we've been told to follow? Let's deconstruct it. This quote, wow, it really just cuts right to the heart of it, doesn't it? For so many of us, the whole diet journey just becomes this endless cycle of shame, of feeling like we've failed. But this isn't a story about personal failure. Not at all. This is a story about biology and about finally understanding what's really going on inside our own bodies. So to really get this cycle, let's meet Alex. Now, Alex here represents pretty much every person who's ever gone on a diet. And her story, well, it probably sounds a whole lot like yours. She decides she wants to lose a few pounds, so she does what we all do. She pulls out the standard diet playbook. Alex goes all in with the usual tactics, right? She drops her calories way down, she cuts out carbs and sugar, she ramps up her workouts, adds more intensity, and you know what? At first, it totally works. The scale moves, the compliments start rolling in, and she gets that incredible, but temporary, boost of confidence. Her brain makes a really powerful connection. Restriction must equal results. But that high, it never lasts. It can't. Inevitably, biology just takes over. The hunger becomes this constant gnawing thing. The cravings are just intense, and then the hanger sets in. She's gritting her teeth, trying to white-knuckle it, but willpower is no match for a body that is literally screaming for fuel. This, of course, leads to overeating, which is immediately followed by this crushing wave of guilt. And there it is. The vicious cycle of restricting and binging starts all over again. So why does this always happen? Why does it feel like we're fighting a losing battle? This is the absolute key to everything. Your body is hardwired to fight against calorie restriction. It's not a character flaw, it's not a lack of discipline. It's a survival mechanism that's been perfected over thousands and thousands of years. Let's break down what's really going on here. On the one hand, Alex blames herself. She's thinking, I just have no willpower, I'm a failure. But the reality, it's so much more complex. Her body, in its incredible wisdom, perceives this sudden, severe lack of calories as a famine. And when it thinks there's a famine, its one and only goal becomes survival. It will do whatever it has to do to adapt. This whole process has a name. It's called metabolic adaptation. Think of your metabolism like your car's gas tank. If you normally need a full tank of gas to get through the day, but you suddenly start only giving it 3/4 of a tank, your car has to become more fuel efficient to go the same distance. Well, your body does the exact same thing. It literally learns how to run on fewer calories. This is why weight loss always stalls, and it's also why the weight comes back so fast, and sometimes brings friends, the moment Alex goes back to eating normally. Okay, now look at this, because this chart is where things get really, really interesting. We tend to focus all our energy and anxiety on that tiny little 5% sliver, the exercise. But just look at that massive 70% chunk. That's your basal metabolic rate, or BMR. It's the energy you burn just existing, just breathing, thinking, living. That is the real secret. That's the key to escaping the diet cycle for good. So, if the old way is completely broken, what's the alternative? The solution isn't another diet. It's in shifting your entire approach to one that works with your body, not in a constant fight against it. And this right here, this quote just illustrates that mindset shift perfectly. The goal is no longer restriction, it's nourishment. It's about asking, how can I give my body the right tools to rebuild a strong, healthy metabolism? This is where you actually take your power back. So, welcome to your body's Rail Owner's Manual. Your metabolism isn't just one thing, it's this whole ecosystem, and it's built on these 6 pillars. Now, they're all deeply connected and super important, but for today, we're going to focus on the 2 that give you the absolute biggest bang for your buck right away: managing your blood sugar and building your metabolic engine. Okay, let's start with what might be the single most impactful piece of this whole puzzle: blood sugar. I'm serious, managing this is the missing link for so many people. Why? Well, because balanced blood sugar is what controls your hunger. It crushes your cravings, and it literally tells your body whether to burn fat for fuel or store it. So,
How do we do it? Is it complicated? No. We do it with a super simple acronym that is about to become your new best friend. PHFF. No weighing, no measuring, no crazy calculations, just a simple mental checklist for every single meal. PHFF stands for protein, healthy fat, and fiber. When you eat these three things together in a meal, they act like a powerful brake on your digestion. They slow down the release of sugar into your bloodstream, and that prevents that awful spike and crash roller coaster that drives all the cravings and fat storage. This is how you tame your blood sugar without giving up the carbs you actually enjoy. All right, next up, let's talk about your metabolic engine. For decades, we've been beaten over the head with this idea that cardio is the king of fat loss. Well, it's time to bust that myth wide open. Your single greatest asset for a healthy, roaring, fat-burning metabolism isn't the treadmill, it's muscle. Hey, remember this from that TDE chart a minute ago? The calories you actually burn during your workout are a teeny tiny fraction of your total daily burn. This is exactly why trying to burn off what you ate is such an exhausting, inefficient, and frankly, miserable strategy. There is a much, much smarter way to play this game. This quote from Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, it's just so empowering. It completely reframes the entire goal. It gives you something to build, something positive to focus on, not just something you're trying to lose. And here's why that matters so much. The more muscle you have on your frame, the higher your BMR is. That's that huge 70% of your daily calorie burn we talked about. Muscle is metabolically active tissue. Think of it like a furnace that is burning calories for you all day, every single day, even when you're just sitting on the couch watching TV. This is how you permanently raise your metabolism. So, how do you actually do it? It's surprisingly simple. 2 steps. First, you have to eat enough protein. Around 30 grams per meal seems to be the magic number that actually triggers your body to build new muscle. And second, you have to strength train. The goal is something called progressive overload, which is just a fancy way of saying you consistently challenge your muscles to get a little bit stronger over time. That's it. You know, understanding all the biology is one thing. That's half the battle. But the other half, and honestly, the more important half, is the transformation that has to happen up here, in your mind. This is where the real, lasting, life-changing stuff happens. I mean, just look at the difference here. Alex 1.0, the dieter, is trapped. She's in a constant war with her own body, a war that's fueled by rules and guilt and anxiety. But Alex 2.0, she operates from a place of knowledge and self-trust. Her focus isn't on following some punishing diet. It's on making empowered decisions because she actually understands how her body works now. And this all leads to this really powerful concept called informed intuitive eating. Now, this isn't just, eating whatever you want and hoping for the best. The key word here is informed. You become so in tune with your body's signals because you understand the biology behind them that your intuition is actually guided by real knowledge. True food freedom doesn't come from ignorance, it comes from understanding. So let's just end with this thought. What if you shifted your entire identity? What if the goal wasn't just to lose weight, but to simply decide that you're no longer a person who diets? That that's just not something you do anymore? That you are now a person who understands their body and nourishes it with confidence? That single decision, that right there, could change everything.